everyone, I'm Tashina from Logical Harmony. Welcome back to my channel. I am really excited about today's video because I'm going to be sharing the new Eye of Horus cruelty-free and vegan eyeshadow palettes with you guys. They are sponsoring today's video. Thank you so much, Eye of Horus, for doing that. They are a cruelty-free brand that I have been using for years and years. You guys have heard me talk about them a ton, and they are now launching 2 new vegan eyeshadow palettes. So I wanted to share that with you guys in this video. You're going to see an eye look with one of them, and I'm going to be sharing swatches of both of these palettes with you. I'm super excited. So there are 2 different palettes that are launching, the Winter Solstice and the Summer Solstice. I did today's eye look with the Summer Solstice palette, which is a warm tone palette, absolutely perfect for summer. You guys know how I love my warm nudes and my bronzy neutrals. Each palette has 8 different shades in it. There's a mix of matte shades and shimmer shades, and they're all pressed pigment. So they're super buttery, super pigmented. You can use them with a brush, with your finger, with a wet brush. They're all gonna apply really smoothly. And I just love the shades in this palette so much. I think that they're so gorgeous. I used as many as I could in today's eye look. So this is the Winter Solstice palette. You guys will notice this is a cool toned palette. It does have a couple warmer shades in it as well, but it is also that really nice mix of mattes and shimmers. Again, these are also pressed pigment, so you can apply it with a brush, with your finger. It's going to apply really nicely and blend out really smoothly. And I love the mix of shades in this. I'm not usually a huge fan of cool toned palettes, but I think this one is such a perfect mix that it's going to work no matter what shades you're into. And I love some of the shades in here, like Cosmic. I think that's such a fun shade, and Supernova is really pretty as well. It's a nice palette, and I think that these are both really great palettes to have in your collection no matter what you already have, because they're such a good mix of shades, both matte and sparkly and shimmery, that are going to be ones that just go with everything you already own. So if you're traveling, these are perfect. If you just want like a one and done palette, these are absolutely perfect for you. Even if you already have a bunch of single shadows or palettes like I do, these are such a good addition to your collection because you're going to be able to wear them with whatever else you already have. So both of the palettes are free of talc, they're free of petroleum, and they're free of synthetic oils. And then they also have good for you things in them, like there's olive leaf oil and moringa oil, and they're just so pretty. Another thing that's really cool is that Eye of Horus is based in Byron Bay, Australia, and these palettes were for their first ones made in Byron Bay. So I think that is amazing as well, just that they're keeping things a little more local. And I just think the formula of them is so good. It's so pretty, it's so buttery, it's so pigmented. I really like them, and I feel like their staying power is really good too. So another thing I did want to point out is the packaging. So they do come in this little cardboard case. You guys can see it's closed on one end and open on the other. I think that's great because you don't have to worry about it like falling out of there. You can just slide it out. On the back, it tells you a little bit about the palette. It has the ingredients, it has the directions on how to use it, and the shade names as well, which I think is super helpful. It also points out that it's vegan and cruelty-free. And when you open up the palette, each one has the pans on one side. This is really sturdy packaging. And then you also have the mirror as well. So that way you can kind of see what you're doing very easily. It's a really nice mirror too. I feel like it's such a good size. You can really see a substantial amount of your face, which is helpful when you're doing your makeup because you can really see everything that you're doing. So currently both these palettes are only available to their Goddess loyalty members. So what that means is if you're on their website, you can sign up to be a member. You just create an account. It's really easy, and you get a bunch of perks through it, including exclusive access to early launches. It does have a point system, so for every $1 that you spend, you get points you can redeem for money off your future orders. And they also do little exclusives like exclusive discounts. Again, heads up about some new releases and early access, birthday presents. They do all sorts of things through that loyalty program, so make sure you're signed up. And it's just really cool because you also get points if you write product reviews on their website. So if you're like me and you're someone who loves their products and you like sharing your thoughts on products, that is a really cool way to get rewarded for doing that. So I think that is really great. So for today's eye look, I did use the Summer Solstice palette, and I used quite a few shades in here. I wanted to get as many of them in the look as possible, and I also wanted to show you guys what the mattes and the shimmers were like. I did also use the brush set from Eye of Horus today as well. So I started out with the shade Jupiter, which is a nice matte shade. I like this shade because it's not too dark, it's not too light, it's a good bronze shade, and I put that in my crease and blended it down and up towards my brow bone as well. I wanted to use that as my transition shade today and my base shade. Next, I went in with the shade Mars, which is a darker, warmer brown. I love this shade. It's very, very chocolatey, and it's also a matte shade as well, and I used that on my outer corner and blended that into my crease to darken it a little bit as well. Next, I used the shade Burst, which is this gorgeous bronzy gold, and I put that all over my lid. I love this shade so much. I think it's so, so pretty. It's really buttery. It's such a good example of what their shimmers are like because you see how much pigment they have even without getting your brush damp. If you want more pigment, you can just spritz your brush with some water or a setting spray and you're gonna get a ton of pigment on your brush. Next, I used the shade Milky Way in my inner corner. I did also use this as my face highlight today. It is so gorgeous. It's so buttery. I love that it has a little bit of iridescence to it. And I just applied that to my inner corner and my brow bone with a little pencil brush. And then I went back in with Mars to deepen up my crease and kind of blended that into my lower lash line too. I just wanted to give a little more definition. For my lower lash line, I used the shade Star, which is kind of like a bronzy berry shade. I really, really like this one as well. I think it's such a pretty lid shade as well. It's just a good neutral. And I find that it's not quite as shimmery as Burst or Milky Way, but it does have that little bit of shimmer in it as well. So I used a pencil brush to apply that to my lower lash line just to help blend everything together. Next, I used the shade Flare on my outer corner. I didn't do it as far out as Mars, but just really to help bridge the gap between Burst and Mars and just add a little more dimension. This is just such a really, really pretty shade. I love these like rich, warm, sparkly shades. I think that they're so underrated, and this one, the formula is amazing. And I also put that a little bit on my lower lash line as well to help everything blend together. And then, as I mentioned, I did use Milky Way to highlight my cheeks, my nose, my Cupid's bow. It's such a good highlight shade. I love it so much. I feel like they could put it as its own little thing and sell it as a highlight. I followed up with my Liquid Define liner today, which I used in the shade Brown. I really, really like this liner. I think it's just such a good everyday liner. The felt tip is really nice. It's nice and rich. It's a very unique brown shade too. It's like not super, super dark. It's not a super inky brown. So you have that good definition between this and the brown and the black that they make as well. But I love this for like smoky brown eye looks. And then I also use the Eye of Horus Bio Lash Lift Mascara, which you guys have heard me talk about so many times. I absolutely love this stuff. It's so gorgeous. It's so, so pretty. And it does such a good job of really separating every lash, and it really helps to curl your lashes as well. So I did use my Eye of Horus lash curler today. I use it all the time, but I find that this mascara in particular helps my lashes hold a curl better than most out there. For my lips today, I used the Eye of Horus lip liner. This one was in the shade Arabian Sands, which is a really nice nude. It's like a Your Lips but better nude. Not too pale, not too brown, not too pinky. It's the perfect neutral. And then the Bio Lip Elixir, which I've talked about recently as well. It's basically like a lip oil with color in it, like it's a gloss. So it has a nice rosy tint, has a little bit of shimmer, but it's so nourishing and moisturizing. And I just love how it feels on my lips. And that was today's finished look. Leave a comment. Tell me what your favorites are from Eye of Horus and what you're most excited to try. Let me know if you're signing up for that loyalty program, and I'll see you next time.